Now this weekend, Remembrance Sunday of course, the King, Princess of Wales and Prince George paid their respects for our fallen heroes.
But across the pond, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle attended Kris Jenner's star-studded birthday bash in Beverly Hills instead.
Whilst Prince Harry was wearing a poppy to the event, was it a royal faux pas for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to party instead of paying their respects?
Well,
oh, my beloved Squaddies. Gather around and sip that tea slowly, because once again, the British media circus is performing live without a hint of self-awareness. I swear, these folks could find scandal in a slice of toast if Meghan Markle's name was printed on the butter. This time, the meltdown isn't over a political crisis, a royal speech, or even a diplomatic blunder. Nope. The latest national emergency is that Prince Harry and Meghan dared to attend a birthday party. Yes, a party. And not just any old backyard barbecue. We're talking about Kris Jenner's 70th James Bond-themed Hollywood bash. The guest list? An Avengers-level crossover of fame. Oprah, Jeff Bezos, Adele, Kim Kardashian, Mariah Carey. Basically, everyone who has ever had their name on a platinum card. But in the wild world of GB News, this wasn't glamour. This was, quote, the most tragic display ever. Was it a royal faux pas for Prince Harry and Meghan to attend a Kardashian party during Remembrance Weekend?
for Harry and Meghan to be partying with Kardashians over Remembrance Weekend?
It's absolutely a faux pas, and I'd go further and say it's the most tragic display from these two I've seen for a very long time, if not ever. It couldn't be less appropriate to go to a Kardashian showbiz star-studded party where, of course, these aren't their close circle of friends. These aren't their best friends. It's not Harry's best mate's 40th. They don't know the Kardashians. So to have gone there and then to have gone without wearing a poppy. I know Harry wore his poppy. Meghan did not wear a poppy. The easiest thing in the world, it would have taken a second to just pin in a poppy and it would have actually helped a little bit. But to have attended in the first place was just unforgivable.
Harsh on the Sussexes, because in America, I don't think Remembrance Sunday has the same resonance as it does in the UK.
No, of course it doesn't. But Harry is a veteran himself. Harry just last week went to Canada while his brother was in Brazil, trying to, I suppose, in some way, steal a bit of attention from his brother, but also to support veterans in Canada. Now, this is a really important weekend for Harry. He, I'm sure, wishes he was in London at the Cenotaph, but because of his behaviour over the years, he hasn't been there. But to have gone out, he really should have stayed in. He knows this. He's been in the royal family for 41 years. He knows how it works. He knows that is a really stupid thing to do. And do you know what I really think? I just think he doesn't have any agency in the decision-making that goes on in his marriage. I really think if he'd had his way, he would have stayed in that night, because it's the obvious thing to do is not to go out partying on the Remembrance Weekend.
Oh, GB News, darling. Do you even hear yourselves? The man literally served in Afghanistan. He founded the Invictus Games. He's worn that poppy with pride to honor his fallen comrades every single year. And somehow, he's now disrespecting veterans because he was photographed smiling at a party? I mean, come on. That's like saying firefighters shouldn't attend birthdays because there's a candle involved. Meanwhile, their panelists, those same professional pearl clutchers who've never seen a day of combat, are wagging their fingers from studio chairs, crying outrage into microphones. The irony? They're probably wearing poppies made in China, ranting about patriotism while attacking an actual veteran. And then, my favorite part, they said Harry should have stayed indoors. Excuse me? So now the man can't even go outside? What do they want? Harry locked in a tower with a sign saying, "Sorry, it's Remembrance Week." The obsession is clinical at this point. They want him invisible, silent, and suffering, because that's the only version of Harry they can control. Let's talk real for a second. This isn't journalism. This is emotional theater dressed up as news. GB News and the Daily Mail don't report. They perform outrage. They know that every headline with Meghan or Harry triggers clicks, comments, and chaos. They've monetized resentment. They twist normal human behavior, attending a social event, being joyful, being seen, into moral offenses. They're not protecting remembrance values. They're protecting their business model. And that model depends on painting Meghan as the villain and Harry as the lost prince under her spell. It's lazy, it's predictable, and it's tragically effective. Meanwhile, in America, the same weekend was Veterans Day. Across the pond, Harry honored his fellow servicemen again, with the same poppy pinned to his lapel. He didn't choose between remembrance and celebration. He chose both. Dignity and joy, reflection and life. That's balance. That's grace. But British media? They saw the photos and screamed betrayal. It's as if they wanted him to sit in a dark room and mourn forever, like some royal ghost who's forbidden from smiling until Buckingham Palace gives permission. And you want to hear hypocrisy? When Prince William jets off to Brazil for climate talks during Remembrance Week, he's a dutiful statesman. But when Harry goes to a party, suddenly he's reckless and disrespectful. The double standard is doing backflips at this point. The tabloids should enter it in the Olympics. It'd win gold for mental gymnastics. Oh, and one royal expert, and I use that term loosely, went on air to say, "I don't think Harry has any agency in his marriage." Really? You're diagnosing marital dynamics through pixels now? These people are one caffeine high away from launching CSI Sussex edition. Maybe instead of psychoanalyzing Meghan through television signals, they could focus on actual journalism. But that might require effort. Here's the truth, my squaddies. Harry and Meghan attended a birthday party. They smiled. They honored veterans. They lived their lives with peace and purpose. That's not a scandal. That's sanity. What's truly tragic is how far GB News and the Daily Fail have to stretch reality to keep their outrage alive. They can't stand seeing Harry and Meghan thriving because it ruins the fantasy that the palace is perfect and everyone else is the problem. But guess what? The Sussexes are free. They're glowing. They're unbothered. And every time they step into the light, the media's shadows look darker. So, GB News, if you really think a birthday party is a national crisis, maybe it's time you all took a holiday. Preferably somewhere without Wi-Fi. Because from where I'm sitting, the only tragedy here is your journalism. This is H&M TV, where we don't just sip tea, we spill the hypocrisy.